Hi guys, let's get more news about Warriors. But first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Warriorstrade head coach Steve Kerr with explosive comments that quickly went viral across social media. What started as a simple discussion about the league's growing injury crisis has suddenly turned into a fiery debate between two of the most respected basketball minds in the sport's history. And fans everywhere are stunned. This isn't just a disagreement. This is a clash between two coaching giants who have shaped the NBA for decades. Steve Kerr, known for his calm, measured approach and championship-winning philosophy, recently spoke out about what he believes is the root cause of today's injury epidemic among NBA players. But Larry Brown, one of the greatest coaches the game has ever seen, isn't buying it. Not even a little. And now his comments are shaking the league. It all began when Steve Kerr sat down for an interview earlier this week as reporters asked him about the alarming number of injuries happening across the NBA. Kerr spoke passionately about what he believes is the real issue. In his view, the non-stop year-round basketball being played by young athletes is pushing their bodies beyond natural limits. He talked about how kids are playing competitive basketball at earlier ages, traveling non-stop for AO tournaments and training without rest. Kerr explained that by the time these players reach the NBA, their bodies have already endured years of wear and tear, making them more vulnerable to injuries. It was a detailed, thoughtful explanation and many people initially agreed. But then Larry Brown heard it and he immediately pushed back. Brown, who has coached everything from college to the NBA to the Olympics, wasn't convinced by Kerr's reasoning. In fact, he called it too simplistic and completely missing deeper issues behind today's injury crisis. When reporters asked him for a reaction, Brown didn't hold back. He said, "I'm not buying it. I have coached long enough to know that this is not just about you or kids playing basketball early. Something much bigger is happening." Those words, "I'm not buying it," ignited a storm within seconds. Fans flooded social media. Analysts jumped in and suddenly everyone wanted to know what exactly does Larry Brown mean. Brown went on to explain that the real problem in his opinion is the way the modern NBA has evolved. He believes today's game is too fast, too explosive, and too reliant on constant movement, which places unprecedented pressure on players' muscles and joints. He pointed out that in earlier eras, players didn't make as many explosive cuts, high-speed drives, or above-the-rim plays every possession. Brown suggested that the modern pace and space style, which encourages non-stop sprinting and constant three-point shooting, is creating physical demands the human body can't sustain. And some fans couldn't help but notice the irony because the team that helped revolutionize this modern style was the Golden State Warriors under Coach Kerr. That's when the debate really exploded. Fans began comparing coaching philosophies, posting clips of Warriors, small ball lineups, and arguing whether Kerr's style of play contributed to the league-wide shift that Brown is now criticizing. And to Brown, the issue goes even deeper. He said that injuries today aren't happening because players are playing too much basketball. It's because the type of basketball being played today is fundamentally different. He believes the league has prioritized entertainment over durability, pushing players into constant highlight-style action that wears down their bodies far sooner. Many fans agreed, saying today's game focuses too much on flash and pace, not enough on balance and longevity. Meanwhile, Kerr's supporters argue that he's absolutely right about youth basketball. They claim the real problem begins long before players enter the league. Kids playing year-round, attending camps, playing for multiple teams, never resting, it all adds up. By the time they're in their teens, some already show signs of overuse injuries. Kerr's point was that kids are treating basketball like a full-time job before their bodies have even developed. Larry Brown, however, insists that while that may be contributing, it's far from the main issue. He pointed out that modern NBA players have access to the best trainers, nutritionists, medical staff, and recovery technology in the world. Yet, even with all that, injuries are happening more than ever. So, clearly, he says, the problem must be structural, rooted in the style of play, the scheduling, and the way teams push their stars. What makes this debate even more intense is the respect both coaches command. Kerr is a 9-time champion both as a coach and a player. Brown is the only coach in basketball history to win both an NCAA championship and an NBA championship. Hearing these two disagree publicly is rare, and fans can't stop talking about it. Many older fans side with Brown, saying players from past eras didn't miss nearly as many games and didn't suffer this many soft tissue injuries. They argue that the league is softer today with more rest, lighter practices, and less physical defense, yet injuries have skyrocketed. How does that make sense? Brown says it's because players today move differently, train differently, and play differently. The smart analytics-driven style may be efficient, but it's putting unsustainable stress on the body. Younger fans push back by agreeing with Kerr, saying today's players are simply bigger, stronger, and faster, making injuries more likely. Athletes today jump higher, cut sharper, and apply more force than players ever have before. According to this viewpoint, the human body has limits and the athletes of today are pushing those limits to extremes. If kids begin specialized training too early, Kerr says their muscles and joints will break down before they've fully matured. While the debate rages online, players have also begun reacting. Several current NBA stars anonymously told reporters that both coaches are somewhat right, but that neither explanation tells the whole story. One veteran player said the real issue is the schedule with back-to-backs, long travel hours, and pressure to perform at a superstar level every night. He claims players simply don't have enough time to recover. The shocking part is not just the disagreement itself. It's how deeply it has touched the NBA community. Fans are realizing this isn't just about one issue. It's about the future of the league. It's about how players train, how they rest, how they compete, and how the game should evolve. Should the NBA slow down? Should they play fewer games? Should youth basketball be regulated? Should stars sit out more often? Should training methods change? In the end, the clash between Larry Brown and Steve Kerr has revealed just how complicated the NBA's injury crisis really is. There is no single cause. There is no simple solution. But what this debate has done is force everyone, coaches, players, fans, analysts, to stop and think about where the league is headed. And with voices as influential as Brown and Kerr weighing in, this conversation is only going to grow louder. For now, the NBA world waits to see what happens next. Will these two coaching legends continue the debate? Will the league issue changes? Will players speak out publicly? No one knows for sure. But one thing is certain, this confrontation has opened a door that cannot be closed. And fans everywhere are watching closely, shocked, fascinated, and eager to see how this story unfolds.